Hello everyone, I'm Mike D'Angelo with That's Entertainment, and this is your video review of Arcade Paradise by Nosebleed Interactive. Celebrating games with a game of their own is something that we've seen plenty of times before in compilations and collections of old games. There are some management games that take this notion a step farther and let you run your own game development agency or arcade. But it's rare that you have a release that allows you to run your arcade and play the games. Arcade Paradise takes this notion and runs with it, bringing forth a game that is part management sim and part celebration of old games, getting players into the action in more ways than one. But is this trip down memory lane one that is worthy of attention? Or is it a sign that nostalgia should stay comfortably where it is, in the past? One might assume that there's not a lot to talk about here, and a game about a multitude of old-school arcade cabinets, but there is a nice little through line for why the arcade exists in the first place, and a contentious relationship which unfolds. It didn't need to exist, but it adds a sense of additional purpose to what you're doing, and it enriches the experience. You might not think it makes a lot of sense, but it all starts with a laundromat. Ashley assumes control of the king wash from her father after she washes out of college. Gerald barely trusts his daughter with the task, and the state of their poor relationship is apparent from the get-go. But Ashley has a few things going for her. One is a decent relationship with her sister, and the other is an aptitude for business that stuck with her even after she left college. They coalesce into a new opportunity when she discovers arcade machines behind the laundromat. While at first Ashley only has access to a few machines, her sister hooks her up with all the contacts she needs to begin bringing the focus at the King Wash onto the video games there instead of the laundry machines. Eventually, Ashley begins to make a name for herself and steps out of the shadow of her father to become a bit of an arcade legend. As mentioned before, Arcade Paradise is split into two ladders of progression. These two ladders work in tandem to allow you to advance the story, enhance your abilities, and overall just have a good time. The first ladder of progression focuses on management and simulation. Ashley must take care of her business in order to keep people coming to the King Wash and to convert their hard-earned cash into tokens for the laundry machines and, more importantly, the arcade games in the back of the establishment. At first, this includes grabbing laundry and putting them through wash and dry cycles, which gives you a small amount of money that you'll be clawing for to buy more arcade cabinets. Eventually, the cabinets themselves will begin making more money than the laundry tasks. You'll want to keep your place of business clean though, as a tidy arcade will assure your customers are happy. So does repairing your machines when they act a little buggy. There are also daily tasks that you can complete in order to get the game's more premium currency, which allows you to upgrade various components of your management experience, from a digital safe that doesn't require you to spin the dial, to adjusting the rules of time and space to slow down your day and accomplish more game playing. Speaking of which, diving into the games in your arcade is the second ladder of progression, and it isn't all for nothing. Each game has a list of goals that you should be aiming to complete, as when the patrons see these feats, they get excited and want to play the game. And the keener they are about playing at one cabinet, the better chances there will be for them to play at other nearby ones as well. The daily tasks will usually have something to do with the games in your arcade. You might be told to play a game for 5 real-life minutes, or to get a certain score. You'll also see a lot of cabinet-specific tasks that are easy to achieve, especially as you familiarize yourself with the games. And the games themselves will feel familiar. You'll have games that are like Pac-Man, Outrun, Quicks, Space Invaders, and more, and most of them have a nice new flavor that gives them lasting personality. Oftentimes, you'll also find an in-game progression system that makes it easier to advance in the games as well. The game balances a few different art styles, and that could be a hit or miss for some folks. The simulation foundation of moving around your laundromat and arcade is done very well and gives you a basis for which to enjoy the games you play. And going into the games feels immersive in that you'll see shine and glare on the machines and reflections of the rest of the arcade behind you. The arcade games are where things feel a bit varied. Some of the games imitate some very old classics and may not appeal to everyone. Other games have a shinier veneer, and maintain some level of attractiveness, even though it is presented in a retro 90s charm. The music is typically phenomenal. The developer needed to make a tremendous amount of content, as each of the games needed to have music that was specific to their cabinet. But Nosebleed Interactive went even further and included a jukebox with a great set of songs as well.
One, go!
With such a wide range of retro games at the ready, each with their own goals, there's a lot of potential to bounce around from one machine to the next for a while. Plus, you're always aiming to unlock new cabinets, advance the story, and score the upgrades you're able to afford. While the story itself is set in stone and unlocks at specific milestones, the order in which you unlock your cabinets and where you place them can give you a feeling of personalization. Because many of the games have their own upgrade systems, starting them over can give you certain challenges that you'll get to experience once more. And bringing all your skills to bear after practicing can make you feel like an arcade god if you're starting from scratch. This is one of those games that you can return to time and again because it so easily represents all of the games of yesteryear, with a few bells and whistles added to make them feel modern and sensible enough to appeal to gamers of today. Before Arcade Paradise, there wasn't a game that you could play that truly immersed you in the experience of playing in your very own arcade. With a ton of respect towards the past, yet a hearty bit of planning to make old classics feel fresh, Nosebleed Interactive presents a game here that is at once reverent and forward-thinking. Their passion shines through, and in their love letter to games of the past, gamers of all ages should find something to like here. That's Entertainment awards Arcade Paradise a score of 8.5 out of 10. Hey there! I wanted to thank you for watching. Please remember to hit the subscribe button so that you're always alerted whenever I have a game review or another video coming out. I've got a few other places that you can find me in my content, which I'll show on the screen here as well. Thanks for watching.